Welcome everyone to the tippy top of Mount Manitoba.
Way up.
Way up north here in Mount Manitoba, where this is another episode of How the Hell Did This Go Number One? But as we get a little bit deeper, what were you doing, Andrea?
I was cleaning the camera.
You were cleaning the camera with what?
With a Kleenex.
Okay, we just saw Opal the dog, so I thought it was like Opal's tail going back and forth there. I don't know. But all good. But here atop Mount Manitoba, I don't know what Andrea is doing, but that's okay. We're gonna be looking at how the hell did this go number one? And I'm here. I'm Kirk Buchner. I'm the owner. I'm the operator of NotInHallOfFame.com and the Fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame and the Fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the United States Athletic Hall of Fame. Huh?
That's a lot of halls of fame.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, there is. There's a whole lot more. Because I'm not alone. I brought with me Andrea Tessmann.
Hi.
And Brad Nelson.
Hi there.
Hey. Hi there. You should have done that for last week's show with Welcome Back.
Welcome back, Kata.
Yeah. I mean, that was a perfect Freddie Boom Boom Washington.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what else is perfect? Our
Me.
sponsor.
Oh.
Well, yes, you too. But our sponsor. Hey. It's Super Bowl coming.
Is it?
It is.
I hadn't heard.
Oh,
We
it
do
is.
like the superb owl.
I like the superb owl.
Well, Andrea, you've been at my place for a Super Bowl party, a Super Bowl party. I mean, it might have been a Super Bowl party. I've had a lot of parties where I sort of like emptied a lot of Super Bowls, but I'm excited. It's the Eagles versus the Chiefs. Brad, who are you cheering for?
I think the Eagles have a less problematic name, so I'm going to go with them.
Okay, well, fine. Andrea?
Well, the Eagles, because they're closest related to the owls that are superb.
That's true. They probably have an advantage.
Okay, well, neither of Brad nor Andrea know what they're doing with betting, but neither do I. But I'm going to help you. I am going to help you. I'm going to help me too, because I suck at betting. We're going to go to BetStamp. Here's our
Hey,
friend.
why don't we help you help us?
Let me help you. Let me help you. BetStamp. Do you have your phone out? Get your phone out. Download right now, BetStamp. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to do BetStamp, because here's what BetStamp's going to do. Super Bowl's coming, because maybe Brad doesn't know, maybe Andrew doesn't know, maybe Brad's got sort of like his little social justice warrior thing going on. I don't blame him. I get that. But hey,
Dude, I haven't fought for anything other than maybe air once in a while.
I got no joke for that.
You could use some sunlight.
BetStamp.
All right, awesome. Good thing I've gone against coffee. But anyway, BetStamp. Okay, if you're going to bet on the Super Bowl, let's say you want to go with as Andrew says, the Eagles. Right? You like
They were a pretty good band.
I've been an Eagles fan now for like 1.5 minutes.
Absolutely. But if you're like Brad, if you're like Andrea, you want to get the best bet possible.
I do. I'm always looking for a deal.
Who is going to give you the best bet?
BetStamp.
There you go. BetStamp's going to do that. So you just sort of like go, you download that, and you sort of like all the betting things that you sort of like do. And you're going to see like, who's got the best odds? That's what you're going to go with. And let's say you're dumb like me or Brad.
Guilty.
Guilty as charged. There are people who are expert bettors, and you can follow them. You can follow them and make the best bet possible. And I've got a code for you.
What's the code?
$1.25.
$1.25.
$1.25.
And guys,
That's your rapper name.
there you go. And you don't need your parents' permission to do this. Maybe you do, but okay, just do it anyway. $1.25.
Kirk, don't sell gambling to the chillins.
I don't think there's any children watching our show. I'm
I
pretty
hope
sure,
not.
especially considering that we're talking about Simon and Garfunkel, two people that nobody under 20 knows who they are. But hey, do this for me, please. If you're going to be a gambler, if you're going to be a degenerate like me, do it responsibly.
We have to remember to know when
Know
to-
your limits, stay within it.
There you go. $1.25. Okay, guys, I went against coffee.
You always go against copy.
You gotta know when to hold them.
Nowhere to hold 'em. Actually, I grew up my beard here. Huh? What do you think of this little Kenny Rogers thing I got going on here right now?
Silver fox.
Kind of
I
insane,
have
isn't it?
a little fruit fly for some reason. Haley just moved out and she took the recycling out and probably disturbed her little banana buddies. I got my office back, by the way. I got my office back. I'm back in the office.
Okay, I'm just trying to look at my reflection here. This is very silver foxish shit. Holy shit.
That's what I said.
What the hell am I coloring my top of my hair for though? God damn.
Kirk, you are one very short dress away from looking in the mirror and saying, would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me hard. And then Wild Horses plays in the background.
I'm all, oh God, well, okay. Before we go into our main event, I think I told you this. Okay, hey, if my first wife is watching, holy shit, you right-wing super kook fucktard. What the hell's happened to you? Anyway.
I don't know where this is going, but I think we need to rein it back in and
No,
let's.
I found her Twitter account because it's just really super far right disgusting. Anyway.
All right.
Speaking of that, here's something she doesn't pay attention to because you know, like because she's a right-wing fucktard. But you know, if she does get into sort of any kind of trouble, she could put something over troubled waters.
Like a bridge.
Like a bridge. Like a bridge. And
A messy segue, but it was a segue nonetheless.
Yeah, it was better than some. Wasn't quite the train wreck that we often do.
wasn't well, whatever. $1.25, bet stamp. Do it.
All right, so bridge over troubled water.
And I apologize, Andrea. This was yours, and
No, this was Brad's.
what was Brad's? Okay, my apologies. I'm sorry.
Because if I were to have picked a Simon and Garfunkel song, I would have picked Sound of Silence because it's got a way better story.
Okay,
Sound of Silence is fantastic, but we're looking at how the hell did this go number one? We can tell why Sound of Silence
okay,
went.
I kind of like where you went with this because, like, every time I was doing all my research for this, and so many sites call this their signature song, and to me, this wasn't.
No. Mrs.
No.
Robinson and Sounds of Silence.
The Boxer.
I love
The Boxer's another fantastic, but I mean, you can go over their whole catalog and they're all great songs.
But this is
Not
also-
all, but many.
This is also their interesting swan song. And because
It
like
was.
my apologies to Simon and Garfunkel, prior to this, I did not necessarily know the chronology.
Chronologically.
Chronology, that would be the right word, yeah.
Thank you.
Mana.
Do, 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 do.
Come on, finish it.
No, I honestly also did not know the timeline of their music. And no, this was interesting because it was written by Paul Simon, obviously, as I think everything they pretty much performed was. Most
Should've
of the
been
good stuff.
Simon with Garfunkel.
No, Paul Simon wrote this. Yeah, Paul Simon wrote this. It's very gospel, but it's very non-religious gospel. But it's got that big building sound to it. And he didn't want to sing it. He thought it would be better suited to Garfunkel's voice, which it probably is. But then he was pissy about it for the rest of his, up to now life, basically.
Well, there was a reason for that. And I was doing a lot of reading on this, doing the research on it. And they started off in high school together, and there became quite an animosity between the two of them because Garfunkel was
Because Garfunkel never beat up Edie Brickell. Sorry.
Garfunkel was a little pissed off that he didn't have the creative juices that Paul Simon did. And Paul Simon was really insecure about his height and his looks and
his voice.
Afro.
Yeah, at one point, Artie stood up there, they were doing a photo shoot together, and he says, no matter what happens, I'll always be taller than you, to Paul Simon.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
yeah, and so that was the thing. Paul Simon had said something, and I'm paraphrasing here, but I write the songs and he gets the girls.
Well, with this song in particular, he insisted that Garfunkel sing it.
Mhm.
And so Art sang it, and the song, it's a perfect song. It's a great song. I'm not saying it's their best song, but in terms of how it's built, how it's constructed, and also Art Garfunkel singing it, he did the perfect balance of emotion, but not showy, which made it better because he didn't overperform it. He
Yes.
hit some big, beautiful notes, but he started soft and he built it, and the music built itself. And you start with the piano, and then you bring in the drums and the cymbals, and then you bring it down again, and then you build it up again. And the song is great, but apparently every time it was performed live with the two of them, Paul Simon is standing on the side of the stage, just seething as Art Garfunkel is just absorbing the accolades of the audience for his masterpiece.
He went on record saying every time he did that, I'm looking at him going, that's my song.
Yeah. And I think it was...
Most of them were his.
Oh, all of them were his, but this one especially.
Okay.
Like, because I think that Art Garfunkel got a huge amount of praise for it, which is justifiable because he performed it beautifully. But I think that Paul Simon was kind of left behind, except for the fact that he won a ton of awards for it.
Right,
so
who do people know better, Elton John or Bernie Taupin?
You can't have one without the other.
Well, that's it. Elton John doesn't exist without Bernie Taupin writing those songs. However, Elton John gets all the limelight, and Taupin, I couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
Bernie's okay with that, though.
Oh, 100% he's okay with it. But that's where this rivalry is rooted.
So let's look at this here from 2023 eyes compared to 1970. So in 2023, there's and I apologize to the people who do this show. I haven't seen it, but is there not a show called Garfunkel and Oates?
Oh, yes, there is.
It has nothing to do with Art Garfunkel, though.
I know it doesn't, but basically it's about number twos.
Yes.
Okay.
Garfunkel and Oates is fantastic. Anybody out there who likes some weird, dirty music,
I suggest you check out The Loophole.
Hilarious.
Which I'm going to, but I mean, I know of its existence. And pretty much throughout my entire lifetime, and I'm old as shit, but my entire lifetime as a 50-year-old man, it was Simon Garfunkel.
Yeah, Simon and Garfunkel, 100%.
Because Paul Simon continued on with a very successful career, whereas Art Garfunkel disappeared.
But
Art Garfunkel didn't disappear. Art Garfunkel, after about 1970,
so let's go.
Had some bit parts in movies and stuff like that. And
Catch-22.
He tried to make his own way in the music industry, and it didn't work.
So what I was reading too, so this was around the same time that he got a role in Catch-22, which did relatively well as a film. And an agent said, "Look, hey, I'm going to make you a star." I don't know how you look at Art Garfunkel and say, "I'm going to make you a star." They did.
Well, he could have played Kramer.
Yes, he could have. He very well could have. He would have been a good Kramer. But Art was positioned one way. Paul Simon wrote most of that last album. And from what I was reading, Paul Simon just pretty much realized he could do the whole thing without Art Garfunkel. It's like, what the hell am I doing with this goofball?
Even in their early years, Paul Simon went out and did, hang on here half a second.
Yeah, but while you're doing that, basically, Art Garfunkel was Andrew Ridgeley. Andrew Ridgeley-ing? Huh? Callback. It's a callback. It's a callback. Don't call this book. No, okay.
No, it's true. He was a number two. He was the Oates to the Hall.
Did either of you ever see This Is 40?
Oh, bits of it.
Okay, so Andrea, so you probably saw it more than Brad then. Where Paul Rudd, who I think is Andrea's dream man,
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Because he's 53 going on 33.
That man has not aged a day since he was 28, I
No.
swear.
Yeah,
He
and
has a
probably
painting in his
has-
hallway.
He's
that ate
obviously a
before him.
vampire, and I'm okay with that.
and probably and unlike Tom Cruise did not sell his soul to the devil to do this.
Here it is in my notes. So they wind up doing the they've broken up a couple of times before the 1970s breakup.
Simon and yeah, they were constantly breaking up and getting back together.
Yeah, so there was they had magic when they were together.
Right, but going up to that point in the 60s, they were equal in terms of their Q rating, in terms of like what you thought. If you were to say, okay, they're going to break up, it would have been a 50-50 bet as to who was going to do better.
And honestly, Paul Simon, didn't do too badly for himself. I mean, he did very well, considering, because Garfunkel was the voice. I mean, he had the majority of the vocal talent there. Not to say that Simon didn't have vocal talent. He truly does, but not to the point of Garfunkel. Garfunkel was the superior vocalist.
And I think the problem was Paul Simon was the more talented musician. He had the writing chops and he could perform.
Mhm.
Whereas Art Garfunkel could perform, but he didn't have that creative talent. And if he had moved on, if he was in today's music environment and had vocal talent like that, someone else would have written the songs and he would have gone on to be a superstar
Exactly.
of his own right based on other people's writing. That wasn't the environment that they were in. So when they broke up, he didn't have someone else's music to perform beautifully.
Mhm.
And therefore,
He never did.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, actually, I guess going back to that thing where we're talking about like this is 40. Paul Rudd's flipping out on Leslie Bibb? Leslie.
I can't think of her name.
Right.
Terrible names.
And he's flipping out. He says, like, you want me to be a Garfunkel? You want me to be a Garfunkel? Yes, Garfunkel knew what to do. Garfunkel followed Simon. There's nothing wrong with that. It's an interesting thing looking back at those two and how everything sort of like fell apart. And I remember watching a rerun, obviously, because I wasn't alive then, one of the first season or 2 seasons of Saturday Night Live. And Art Garfunkel was the host. And it opens up with this is perfect compared to what you just said, Andrea. Because Garfunkel did a Sam Cooke song to open up. And Belushi comes out and I don't remember the whole shtick, but it basically was nice hair. How come like shut up? You're just doing an old Sam Cooke song. More or less saying you have nothing original.
Mm.
Because he couldn't. Great voice.
See, I think they could have done an amazing job if they would have put their own personal insecurities away for a minute and focused on, okay, you have this strength, I have this strength, and when we come together, it's magic. Because it really was.
But to that point, Brad, if you're Paul Simon, you bet on yourself and you won.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he had some monster hits in the 70s.
Oh, Graceland is his magnum opus.
Right. So, I mean, Paul Simon proved he did not need Art Garfunkel.
No, he didn't need him, but I honestly think the quality of music that was released pre-breakup was better than anything that Simon did after they broke up. I honestly think Simon and Garfunkel together had the perfect synergy at the surface level, and then it was those troubled waters that they had to build a bridge over underneath.
Also, go ahead.
I agree to some extent that I enjoy Simon and Garfunkel's music more than Paul Simon's in general. But I think when they broke up, Paul Simon changed his style of writing because he was no longer writing for Art Garfunkel's voice. He was now writing for his own voice, and he did a lot more up-tempo, poppy, silly stuff, like Kodachrome. And have you ever played the game of Guess the Word? Because pretty much all of Paul Simon's songs are centered around one fun to say word.
Oh, okay.
And there's a bunch of examples of this, but yeah, he seems to like find a word and then compose a song around it. And I'm blanking right now on other examples other than Kodachrome, but
Julio by the Schoolyard?
yeah.
He was never playing basketball with Julio.
No,
Might have
he's
been
not
against
ever
the
played
law.
basketball with
Might be
Julio.
against the
He's
law.
a white man. He can't jump.
Especially at 5'2".
He's just wee, but I mean, that's dynamite in that little package, man. Like he's an absolute genius. There's no two ways about it. You can't debate the fact that Paul Simon is an absolute lyrical genius.
For sure. For sure. What was I going to say here? When they got back together, I believe it was in New York in Central Park. That was
Yeah, that was Central Park. That was 50 or 500,000 people attended that concert. And that was called, hang on here, it's in my notes.
Art Garfunkel saying thank you.
Yeah.
Saying thank you. I needed to pay some bills.
There we go. Concert in Central Park. It doesn't say what it was called here. I didn't put it down. But anyway, they were inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1990, though.
Oh, this is a great segue for what we're doing later for our surprise thing that you don't know about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Way to keep that teased. But yeah, Central Park, 500,000 people gathered together for a concert, and that was in 81.
So here's my question to sort of close this off here for both of you. 1970, so which was their swan song. There's a lot of parallels to the Beatles swan song, Let It Be, around this
Yeah.
song. For a song that's so maudlin, it's very positive,
Mm-hmm.
much like Let It Be in its own way. Do you think that it sort of like plays sort of like both sides of that singer-songwriter, and yet that, okay, we just got through a bit of the 60s, the 70s might be crappy, but maybe there's
Well, disco came out, so it got crappy.
1970. No, this is 5 years before disco, man.
I know, but I'm just saying, leading into it.
Oh, but that's going to be our close, and then the segue into I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know if I'm right or wrong.
I think that there was still a lot of turmoil in the world when this song came out.
But this song can fit both.
Yeah, I think it is both a platonic love song as well as a bit of a political, like there's that underlying, the world is tumultuous and I can be there to help you through it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, did you catch the reference about the Sail on Silver Girl line?
About Simon's wife.
It was a jab at his wife for having she was really insecure about having a few gray hairs, so it was a little jab at her.
A jab, but it was also an encouragement.
It was loving. It was a loving.
Yeah. Because a lot of people had theorized that it was about heroin addiction with the silver needle and what have you, but totally wasn't. It was Garfunkel adding that or requesting that got added in as a jab towards Paul Simon's wife.
I don't think he requested another verse. It wasn't requested as a jab. Paul Simon made it a jab to his wife.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, they requested another verse and he kind of made it a little like goofy, silly, like she was insecure about the couple of gray hairs that had popped up. And so it was a supportive, because it's a very supportive verse.
So if Neil Young heard this, would he go, I see the silver and the damage done?
Oh, I hate Neil Young.
I know you do.
Kirk, should we talk about the silver in your beard?
Oh, hey, we both got that going on, and in the side of the hair and what have you. Basically, we're becoming from where we were as hot young desirable men to hot old desirable men now that we're getting our our little bits of silver. It's not gray. And because
Brad
I'm
likes to
ginger,
pretend that he's blonde when in reality he's a ginger that's gone gray.
yeah, which I like because it's like blood and iron. Dark-haired people get salt and pepper. No, I get blood and iron.
Or what do I have going on?
What are you getting? I'm not sure, man. What's your natural hair color?
No. Hey, look, see the roots here? It's all real. It's just here. It's just here.
What color are your pubes?
We don't need to know that. How about we move on?
They're not what they used to be. I'll leave it at that.
A little bit of snow on the cabin, eh?
Why do I hang out with you guys?
Because you're just as bad as we are. You're just upset you didn't think about it first.
Don't tell them.
Also, too, it's culturally appropriate for her to shave those off. But anyway,
Hey, I have no grays.
That we can see on this camera.
You can see where I dyed my hair.
Mm-hmm.
Getting that fixed soon.
Fair.
Okay, first off, though, I rock this look. I just want to point this out.
Hey, I called you a silver fox earlier, so.
But okay, so I have a surprise for you guys.
Okay, hit me with a surprise. Is it money?
No.
Well, then I'm not
Is it beer?
Oh, wait, yes. Liquor. Liquor is good.
Okay, no, it's something that I thought would be fun based on what I do. All right, so obviously the site is called Not in Hall of Fame. So the big core of what I do is talking about Halls of Fame. Now today, as we're recording this, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced the nominees
Ooh.
for the 2023 class. And knowing that the two of you are not as into it as I am, but you're music fans, I wanted to have a visceral reaction from the two of you as to the nominees for this class.
Oh, okay.
As
Hit
we
me,
go
'cause I
through
haven't read
this-
about this yet.
Perfect. Yeah, I didn't think you would. I'm glad you didn't. So I'm going to tell you who they are, and I want you to come up with each of you your 7 out of the 15 that you would put through. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So nominated are just A Tribe Called Quest.
Oh, yes, 100% they get to be in.
Okay. Cyndi Lauper.
100%.
Okay. You got to put in 7. You can't put them all.
Yep, I know. I'll pass on a few.
Put them in the Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden, okay. Take it or leave it. I could put them on the fence.
Okay. A very interesting one because it's a combination. Joy Division and New Order combined together in one induction.
Oh, love will tear us apart.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So like that's actually one. You're
Because they share members.
right. There's a joke there. I'm not going with that. You're welcome.
Hey, what's next?
All right, well done. Kate Bush.
Oh, okay.
George Michael. Missy Misdemeanor Elliott.
See, some of Missy, I
I got some respect for Missy Elliott.
yeah.
Okay. Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, has to be in.
Oh,
Okay. Sheryl Crow.
100%.
She might as well. She used to sleep with Kid Rock, so she better get in before those STDs kick in. Bow with the bow.
Isn't Kid Rock just an STD that's like coagulated into a person?
I think that's very well together possible. Having said that,
he looks like if you rubbed up against him in the grocery store by mistake, you would have to get tested.
if herpes was a person, it'd be Kid Rock. Saying that, Bow with the bow is a banger. I don't
The
care.
dang it, dang
Ah,
diggy.
with the bada bang, dang, diggy, diggy, diggies, and the boogies, and the boogie.
Rock.
There you go. I was wondering how long you're gonna leave us hanging.
That's as long as I had.
Anticipation.
Ask my wife. That's not much longer than that.
You know, and that's funny with Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow doing Picture. It was a horrible message in the song, but kind of a great little song to sing along to.
There you go. Soundgarden.
I don't care about grunge.
Okay. The
Soundgarden's
Spin-
not grunge, but still.
the Spin-
Soundgarden was so
Hey,
grunge.
yeah, you're right. It's grunge. Never mind.
Right? Oh, can you do that again?
What?
The thing where you said I was right. Oh.
That doesn't happen very often.
No, I don't think a woman has ever said that to me, and I have like a semi right now.
Maybe later. I don't
Okay.
want to get you overly excited.
Okay, yeah, don't say it twice in one sitting, because yeah, I'll have to go off camera.
So if it's full, if it's twice, then it's a full.
That's why I have to go off camera. I'll get hit in the forehead with it.
Really?
No, I'd be lucky to touch belly button.
Okay. Yeah, I'm uncircumcised and I don't trim down there. I mean, like you can actually like well.
Okay, I get accused of oversharing on occasion, but you just like lowered the bar.
We
further
don't
than
need to
you would
hear
do.
that.
I didn't even finish that sentence. Okay.
Okay, let's go back to the nominees.
Back to life.
Back to the nominees.
The Spinners.
Spinner's got to be on there.
Warren Zevon.
Werewolves of London, man.
The White Stripes.
Okay. Oh, I got a joke for you guys because you guys will understand this. It's about the White Stripes. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Meg White drum solo.
Meg White drum solo. Who?
No, because it's knock knock. That's all she's got.
Oh. You know, that reminds me of this. I've never tell you about the story that I was over at the Playboy Mansion like about 20 years ago. True story.
You were at the Playboy Mansion?
Oh yeah, it was 20 years ago. Yeah, it was I remember this. It was just like it was yesterday, 20 years ago, right? So like there I am. And do you remember it's like and I was there and there was Mick Jagger and there was Dennis Weaver. You remember Dennis Weaver, right?
Dennis Weaver, of course.
Yeah, Dennis Weaver. He was McLeod from that 70s show, you know, from a 70s show called McLeod. And I was there in the background and it's like I said there and I saw them meeting each other and Dennis Weaver and Mick Jagger says, hey, well, I know you. You're Dennis Weaver. I said, yes, I'm Dennis Weaver. I'm McLeod. It's like it was kind of cool to watch. And I was out with the other bimbos and other stuff. True story. Really happened.
Uh-huh.
This really happened. Anyway. So like I heard about this later. Now apparently like everyone's getting drunk. I mean, I had a few pops myself there, and anyway, so like Mick, I was saying, and Mick, we had to go to the bathroom. He came back. I said, I can't believe what happened. I said, like, what happened? He says, so Mick went up to the, he had to take a big piss, and he goes to this big giant, big opulent bathroom, and Mick says like, holy shit, there was Dennis Weaver there in the bathroom, but Hugh Hefner was banging him from behind, like boom, 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 boom. And he had to stop that because he says like, hey, Hugh, get off of McLeod.
Yeah, I've heard that one. It's slightly different, a little bit shorter. Did you hear about the Scottish cover band, the Scottish Rolling Stones cover band? Their biggest hit is, hey, McLeod, get off of me, you.
So you're saying you don't believe my story? Is that what we're saying here?
Well, no, with the amount of times you said true story, I stopped believing after the second one.
Methinks he doth protest too much.
All right, well, here's a real true story. Willie Nelson also nominated.
Okay, so I understand the love for Willie. And I do. Outlaw country, the whole 9 yards. I get it. And the shit that guy's been through, got to give him props. I've never liked his music, but he probably belongs in there. All the girls I've loved before.
I've traveled in and it's my door.
Yeah, there you go. See, a little bit of Willie.
Wow, I was doing my Julio.
I know, a little bit of Julio. I was waiting for you to say a
Me
little
and
bit.
Julio down by the schoolyard.
Yeah, see, you can be shooting b-ball.
Yeah, but it was against the law. What the fuck? Was Julio like underage? What the hell?
No, I think they had a little homosexual love affair that was illegal at the time.
I thought it was about
Is that what
weed.
this song's about?
I don't know. I'm just making shit up.
God damn it! He beat up
I-
his wife, and then he accosted Julio.
I thought it was about weed.
That's probably more accurate.
Damn it! And he's in that video with Chevy Chase now. Chevy's the good one. What the hell?
Andrea, did you just say I was right again?
I said accurate.
Oh, okay, good. I can keep this thing
No.
under control.
Yeah, Brad's now accurate and right according to Andrew Tessmann. That's now on his Tinder profile.
Yes.
Say that. Don't put me on your Tinder profile.
Oh no, you're going
Oh,
on.
no, you're gonna put me on
Close it.
your FetLife profile, and that's gonna be even worse.
Yeah, no, you're not on there.
On your what life? Well, FetLife.
No. Let's not get into this on
Oh,
public
FetLife, okay.
broadcast.
Okay, but once you do the FetLife thing, you can also go on BetStamp with your promo code Kirk25, or sorry, Buck25. I'm not gonna get this
My
Well
FetLife
done.
profile is in the links below if you're interested.
Yeah.
So I think we're done with this song.
Okay, no, we're not.
What are we doing next week?
No, we're not done with the song. I gave you these people. Who is your five?
Oh,
Oh,
I've
geez.
forgotten now.
Okay, Willie Nelson, White Stripes, Warren Zevon, Spinners, Soundgarden, Sheryl Crow, Rage Against the Machine, Missy Elliott, George Michael, Kate Bush, Joy Division / New Order, Iron Maiden, Cyndi Lauper, Tribe Called Quest. You've got to pick five if you had a rock and roll hall. of fame.
I got 7.
You can do 7.
Cyndi Lauper.
Yep.
Rage Against the Machine. Tribe Called Quest.
You're putting as much thought into the people who actually vote on this so that's fine.
Now I'm already forgetting others. So Brad put some in.
Okay, so I got to pick 5.
5 to 7. Tribe Called
Okay,
Quest.
Tribe Called Quest for sure.
All right.
Kate Bush, without a doubt, that woman's voice deserves that recognition. Sheryl Crow, I don't dislike her. She's just anybody else. So I don't really care. Missy Elliott, definitely. Joy Division, New Order, 100%. Cyndi Lauper, yes. Willie, not because I like him, but because I understand why he should be. And Rage Against the Machine for sure.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I told you there was a bit of a surprise. And here's the surprise for next week, because Andrew, you want to know what we're doing next week. So I'm going to give a choice to either of you. We are either going to go to a place that we shouldn't go in the plains, or a place.
Oh, it's like going where I shouldn't go. I mean, never mind. Continue.
Yes. Or I'm gonna give you a choice. A 70s place where we shouldn't go as 3 white people, or an 80s place we shouldn't go as 3 white people.
80s. Done. Duh. 70s, we run the risk of disco. 80s,
Neither are
we run
disco.
the risk of excellent music.
70s are not disco.
Oh. I'll go with Brad on the 80s,
Okay.
just because.
That's
Well,
3 times
pretty
I was
boy,
right
it's
now.
waiting there for you. We're gonna take a trip down to Africa.
Oh, yes. Some
I bless the
Toto.
rains down in Africa.
Where once again,
Gonna take some
someone's
time
gonna
to
point out
find the
that,
things I never said.
and once again, someone's gonna point out that how Weird Al sort of like helped cover that with Weezer. And there's gonna be some people, some young incels who are gonna point out, like, see, this girl likes it. Mm-hmm. So
Mhm.
that's what we're gonna do next time.
I have fond memories of Toto from like high school choirs and stuff.
And this one has a lot of interesting stuff to talk about on it as well.
Yes. All right. So that's what I've got picked for next week. But, you know, if you can't wait, I've got so much other stuff.
Make sure
What other stuff do you
before we
have?
promo your other stuff, Kirk, we got to talk about Andrea and her OnlyFans, where she only does that noise, that total noise. Yep, fully clothed, but just making mouth noises to Toto's Africa.
Do you think I could monetize that? Because I might start an
Oh.
OnlyFans if that was the case.
Well,
Dude, there's somebody gonna pay for that.
well, you could if you go to OnlyFans.
For the record, I don't have an OnlyFans, but if it involved something that I didn't take my clothes off, let me know. I'm down.
We don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time.
Amazing thing
Oh,
is, Brad
no.
actually has taken his clothes off on a show.
I will again. All you have to do is ask.
No,
Yeah, he'll drop trow at any suggestion.
100%. I mean, like as soon as I walk in the door, once it gets warmer, I'm going to install pants hooks at my door.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure previous houses Brad has lived in has had pants hooks at the door.
I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no. I'm just saying you're more comfortable without leg prisons.
well, here's what you don't need to have, either pants or not, to enjoy my book, Chavo Guerrero Instant Classic. You can read it with your
Kirk,
pants
did you write a book?
I did. You can read it with your pants on or your pants off.
I'm reading it with my pants off.
There you go. So, like you can beat off with Brad to Chavo Guerrero Instant Classic.
I didn't say it was arousing. I just wasn't wearing pants. I've still got underwear on if so I'm not
There's a
wearing
section
pants.
where he talks about his his meeting with John the Wad Holmes.
John Holmes, the John Holmes?
John Holmes.
Wow.
At a cocaine party. But anyway.
I mean, that's what they did at the time. Like wearing an onion on your belt.
It was the 70s. It was the 70s.
It was the start of the time.
So Chavo Instant Classic, the late great Chavo Senior. Love you. So and it was a pleasure working with him on that. Great man. Just a great man. I think also too, because like I'm having some things going on with my dad, which makes me sort of think a little bit more of him these days.
Of course.
But anyway, I also do other things. There's the weekly Hall of Fame show with Evan Nolan. You can catch that. Well, we're going to do probably a better insight on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame than these two just did. Of course, I didn't tell them they were doing this, but I tried.
No, you sprung that on us. That was a surprise.
I did. Well, I just wanted to have some fun with that. I thought because of what we do, it might be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was it? It was a bit of a disaster, but we still had fun.
No, it wasn't. But if you don't have fun, you can also go to BetStamp with the promo code BUCK25.
BUCK25. Easy to remember. It's the name you'll find all of Kirk's rap songs under.
I got nothing. Anyway, we're wrapping up a series, and it's breaking my heart that's coming to an end. Chris has got to do some other things. So this crap was on national television. It's coming to an end. I need a new co-host for that, Brad.
Tag, I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, Andrea?
Yeah, I'll do that with you. I mean, I can't promise I'm going to be as cool as Chris, but I'll stand in and I'll be like the new Marsha.
Is he like just spending too much time in Antarctica and he can't hang out with you anymore?
That's Glenn.
Oh.
No, Chris is Chris is he's pretty much got a promotion and he's doing a bunch of other stuff. So we're gonna do a couple more shows but we're gonna keep it going on with this crap was on national television. So I guess I've now indoctrinated you to be the new co-host of that.
I could be tempted for sure. So long as you double my wage.
Done.
Okay, then I'm in.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It depends on the time commitment, but I could probably be convinced to.
Well, it's a little bit more time commitment because you have to actually watch some crap that I'm going to send you.
I like watching crap.
All right, there you go. Yes.
Well, you are German.
Hey. So are both of you.
Und Scheiße, ja.
Leck mich am Arsch, Scheißkopf.
Oh, yes,
German. My ass, shithead?
Well done.
I sprechen very little Deutsch.
But you understood that, so.
I know when I'm being insulted. I get that all the time. I could pick that up in any language, just about.
Well, okay. Well, with that, the silver fox, aka the silver god.
Well, at least you're not thinking you're a golden god.
I just give golden showers. But with that, wherever you are, wherever you may be, $1.25 on BetStamp. I'm not going to get that sponsorship again. I don't think so. Anyway, but I still have it for the next 6 weeks. So anyway, stay safe, everybody.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Fuck reverse. I'll be the
I'll be the same.
Auf Wiedersehen.